So, you want to be an entrepreneur? Don't do it. Just kidding. So, we need to dispel a couple things first though. Number one, the media and society has lied to you. They have lied to you, my friend. They have lied to you. They have sold you these visions of what entrepreneurship is. However, it's not the entire picture. You have been lied to, my friend. And you must get rid of that brainwashing. If you've seen The Wolf of Wall Street, if you've seen The Great Gatsby, The Aviator, all starring Leonardo DiCaprio, you're going to see a lot of very cool things that he does in the movie. Going to very expensive parties, signing incredibly big ticket clients, I don't know, smoking cigars and drinking or something, like out of a yard or something, I don't know, but you haven't fully been lied to. Like, all of these things are possible, and I know we're going to do all of the great things of entrepreneurship. You and I, we're both going to do the great things of entrepreneurship. However, you need to realize that it's going to take an incredibly long time to get there, and that's okay. But we just need to dispel that. Everything society has told you about entrepreneurship, everything the media has told you, guys, I'm back. I heavily apologize. I ran out of storage, so yeah. I had to delete a couple things. I had to delete a lot of things. Anyway, back to the video though. You have been lied to quite a bit. However, as long as you realize that entrepreneurship isn't all glitz and glamour, you will make it. You will succeed. You and I know we will. So, that aside, obviously have the vision, but realize that it's going to take a lot of work and you're not going to get it in a very quick amount of time. So anyways, I have two portions of this video, two very crucial portions that you must pay attention to. I have matter and mind, because you know the old verbiage, mind over matter, things that happen in your mind, things you can control, matter, things you can't really control. So yeah, these are very fundamental components of entrepreneurship, especially for the youth, for just young people in general that want to be entrepreneurs. So my first point is not having a lot of money, so you have to borrow if necessary. Now guys, I need you to get rid, oh my gosh bro, I need you guys to get rid of the idea that debt is ultimately bad. I know, this is a shocker. It sounds very interesting, but debt is supposed to be bad because it's not your money. You're taking someone else's money. But the truth is, debt can be leveraged into achieving things to which you could pay off that debt 10 times because of what you're making. So the wealthy, they basically have this thing where they take on a lot of debt in order to fund whatever it is they're doing, and then their revenues or earnings takes care of the debt itself. And I mean, I guess this might be part of the picture. I'm still learning about it, but now I'm not just saying to just take on debt at all times, of course. Like, that's just highly irresponsible, especially if the debt has a lot of interest. Like, don't do that. By the way, this is not financial advice. Now I think about it, I'm starting to get into finances. This video is by no way financial advice. Personally, I wouldn't want to be taking on a lot of interest debt, but obviously you have to manage it somehow. But anyway though, I'm getting kind of off topic. Don't be too, if you have to take on debt, say if you're running a physical type of business, maybe a lawn mowing, auto detailing, bike repairing or whatever, if you have to take on that type of debt in order to fund the components or whatever you're doing, kind of, for example, I'll go with auto detailing because I did run a little auto detailing business last summer. It's not profitable, by the way. I spent I don't know, 500, 600 to get that started, and I made about 200, 300. So I was nearly halfway from breaking even, but we did not do that. I don't know how to market or sell at all. I'm still learning though, but yeah, it was a good learning experience though. But with that business, I had pretty high startup costs, and I did not have the funds for at the time, so I did have to take on some debt. And yeah, that's gonna be the reality for some businesses. You will have to take on some debt, and you're gonna have to be comfortable doing that. Whereas with others that are more remote and more, I guess, flexible, like SMA, or SEO agency, like what I'm doing, I haven't had to take on too much debts because, I've had the occasional software like ClickFunnels currently using and LinkedIn Sales Nav. That's about 200 monthly total. And if you really think about it, this is another thing, which is more of a mindset thing. If you really think about it, if you have to pay a lot in order to get something, if there's evidence of the value it's providing, you need to get rid of the mindset that this is too high of an expense. Because ultimately in business, it's called amortization. I was just reading it in the book, The Personal MBA, which is a great book by Josh Kaufman. I'm going to be making a whole video just on books I recommend for entrepreneurs. But anyway, amortization, basically you want to estimate the amount of value something will bring for you over time. If it brings a lot of value for you, and if you're able to essentially afford it, even if you're not able to at the moment, but if you have to take on some debt in order to afford it, the belief or behind the prediction is you'll be able to make a lot more from that investment you made. Essentially, something's valuable, it's worth your money, you put your money into the investment, and then you predict that you'll make more money in the future.
Worry about taking my lane, they ain't even got on the road. They turn their back and they leave you. They gon' be back when they need you. I practice good over evil, flipping the script like a read-through.
So at the beginning, you might not have money to get started, depending on the venture you are pursuing. And that's okay, you just have to be resourceful. If you have to take on debt, take on debt. Ideally low interest, so it doesn't stack up over time. If you don't have to take on debt, great. That's cool too. Because that's known as, forget what I was gonna say. Next point. Second point, you might have to go through a period of burning through money. And burning through, I say that in quotations because you're not really burning through money if you're in a phase of experimentation. Which, for example, like right now, I've just reactivated ClickFunnels. It's basically a sales marketing software by an entrepreneur named Russell Brunson, digital marketer. Man, that man's crazy, but just reactivated that software. It's about $97 a month. However, the amount of value that I'm getting because of that software, it's so good that it's like I'm willing to pay $97 a month. Run your business, since you will eventually accumulate expenses. If you're not willing to pay, even if it's just $100 a month, like for a while, like honestly, like what are you doing? Like at that point, you might as well just close up shop. Just to put the reality into perspective, that you have to be willing to pay up like some money and stuff in order to get a certain amount of value out of it. In order to achieve something, you have to be willing to pay some money for it. Be willing to go through the phase of trying out some softwares, maybe not seeing much results from them, and then possibly just losing money. That's kind of truth. It's all just about experimentation and just seeing what's working, what's not, and just ultimately seeing what can be better. So yeah, the third point, oh my God, dude. I'm really doing this right now, of course. Having to manage school and business ultimately taking the priority. I'm not gonna lie, I probably annoyed a lot of teachers this school year because I'm just in class, I'm just working on my business, I'm just doing outreach, working on blog posts, talking to prospects. Basically a lot of time in class, I'm just kind of doing business. And who knows, maybe it's not the right thing, but just so dedicated, so focused on what I'm trying to achieve that's like the things I'm doing in academics right now, they can kind of take a back seat because it's quite easy. I've been able to maintain decent grades, I'd say. And also just, a lot of these things that we're learning, it's not even that valuable, if I'm gonna be quite honest. This is a whole topic for a different video, maybe in the future, but yeah, it's like a lot of these things that we're learning, they're not applicable, and they may never be applicable on a very large scale, because it's just all about scaling. You want to be able to scale what you're doing in order to reap as much benefit possible for yourself, but also for everyone around you. So business ultimately might have to take the priority as a young entrepreneur, because if you really think about it, you're in the building for 8-9 hours a day. 8-9 hours, like a large chunk of that can be dedicated to business, such as doing outreach, maybe working on a blog post, a video, a script, whatever it may be. A lot of that time could be dedicated towards just doing business and just ultimately trying to move things forward, because the truth is, it's a grind, man. People love using the word grind and hustle. Hold on. All right, I'm back. I had to drink some water. My throat's getting kind of dry, but anyway, though, people love using the words like hustle and what else, like grinding and all this stuff. It's like, I think it's just a bunch of noise, especially because a lot of those people too, it's like they're not really putting in that much work. Just doing more for like social validation and stuff. And it's like, you know, like, are you actually gonna like do something and like get to where you want to go, get to where you said you're going to be? Or it's like, are you just gonna like play the parts and just like not actually put in the work? So yeah, I don't like really using those words, hustle and grind, but because like it's fun, man. Like doing business is fun. Like even though it's been very slow, and even though my very last client was in like February and it's April now, it's about to be May. Like I know I'm gonna get my next client. I know it's gonna be a big ticket client, and I know that it's all just part of the process, and that's just part of my last video. It's all part of the process, and you know you have to fall in love with just doing the work. You have to fall in love with whatever it is you're doing. You have to fall in love with trying to get all these sales, sending out these messages, trying to get the attention of the business owners you want to reach out to. That's the avenue going down. You have to fall in love with the content creation of making the videos, of recording the videos, of typing up the blog posts, of editing the blog posts. You know, you have to fall in love with this process if you're ultimately going to reap anything out of it, and if you're ultimately going to provide any value, which is the whole point of business. It's to provide value. And it's, you know, it's not to just like, we're just going to make a bunch of money today. Like, I know that's the initial intention among many people, and, you know, it makes sense, of course. Like, part of business is to make money. You know, if we don't want to make money, we'd be running nonprofits or something. So, yeah, we just want to have much of an economy, wouldn't we? But, yeah, I mean, kind of off topic. What was my last one again? Yeah, so, sorry. So, I had to manage school and business. So, yeah, so, like, business, to be quite honest, it's probably going to have to take the front seat. You know, like I said, this is what I basically do. I get to school, I'm doing my business. I'm either reaching out to business owners, I'm typing up blog posts. I'm going to start cutting that down, though, and start focusing heavily on sales. But yeah, basically I'm just focusing on sales, content creation, like first, second hour, and then, third hour too. Basically the entire day. I am doing some schoolwork in between, but it's typically at the end of class, or maybe I'll just put it off till the next hour. So yeah, I am essentially stacking work, but you know, I do burn through it pretty quickly. So as a young entrepreneur, you're gonna have to make that choice. Like, which one am I gonna be focusing on like heavily? Like, which one am I gonna go really hard in? Is it going to be academics right now? Or is it gonna be business, which like ultimately I assume you're most passionate about if you're watching this video. So yeah, you're gonna have to make that decision. And you know, the truth is it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you teachers, you know, getting all upset at you. You know, I've had my share of teachers getting upset, like, you know, do your classwork, do this, do that. It's like chill out. Like, come on, like chill out. Come on. I'm just doing my thing. You do your thing. It's like stay in your lane, and I'll stay in mine. Like, we, one is one. Peace. But yeah, yeah, you're gonna have teachers, whatever, trying to pressure you to do schoolwork. You might have just the external environment just trying to pressure you to do schoolwork. It is what it is. You just have to tune all that out and just really dial in on what it is you're trying to do, which is the business. So yeah, man, you're gonna have to prepare to make that decision and make that commitment. You don't have to sacrifice your grades or anything if it's that important to you, or if you're gonna be like punished or something by your parents. You don't have to sacrifice like super hard. You know, you don't have to go all out, but you know, you will have to make like 70-80% business and the remaining 20-30% schoolwork. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So the fourth point, so people will want to do stuff with you, but you're just not gonna have time for it. Like, you know, you might be very tempted to go out to do this stuff or whatever. Maybe like just go out, drive around, or like go to this event or whatever. But ultimately you're gonna have to cut that out. I mean, you know, unless it's part of personal brand, like for example, like I like going out to different spots in my location with my friend because he's a photographer, and he takes photos of me and environments and all that stuff. Part of the personal brand and just what I'd like to build, the brand image, the brand identity. So in those exceptions where you're going out for business, such as like personal brand or whatever, then I suppose it's allowed. Or I mean, I'm not one to say like if it's allowed or not, but you just gotta, once again, just think about your time, just the way you're using it. And yeah, like you're gonna have to make some sacrifices. For example, like I know like at school we have this thing where we have this balcony or whatever, and like a lot of my friends are there, but I don't go too much. I go here and there. It's like I used to go quite a lot, but now it's like I'm just so dialed in, just so focused on what I'm doing, just writing those blog posts, just sending out those LinkedIn messages, and just really focused on getting to the next step of the day. That's like you're gonna have to sacrifice like little hanging out time, maybe in school, if it's not bringing you like genuine fulfillment and joy and just meaning. If it's just a bunch of mindless like nonsense talk that's just like, you know, brain dead or whatever, like you're just gonna have to sacrifice that. You know, if friends want to go out or whatever, like to a movie or something, but you really don't care, it's like you're just not gonna go, like even if they want you to go, but you just know, you know, business comes first. That's just the way it is. So the fifth thing for matter or just external things is, once again, just teachers maybe, or your peers, whatever, they might have like negative perceptions of you. I've been fortunate enough to not really deal with this. You know, I have had like a teacher that was like pretty against my whole entrepreneur thing, and you know it was just really sad. You know, it's really sad when someone wants you to do something in a certain way when you don't ultimately want to be doing something like that in a certain way. And when they're trying to force a narrative onto you, it's very sad, to be honest. Essentially, especially with young people, like it's like you're trying to corrupt their mind, their developing mind. It's like, you know, like stop that. You know, like your reality might be the way it is, but you don't need to press that onto me. You don't need to press that onto the youth, the young generation. You know, I've been fortunate to not have negative people on my entrepreneur journey. Not really anyway, but who knows? You might have people that are like, you know, what are you doing? Or stuff like that. You might be making videos like this or like Instagram posts or whatever. And, you know, people might be like, start laughing or whatever. I mean, quite honestly, it's just a bunch of noise and you just got to tune it out, because at the end of the day, if you know what you want and if you know that you're working towards it and you're constantly assessing yourself to know if you're on the right track, that's all that matters, really. Like, that's really all that matters. All the noise, the perception of people, what they think of you, etc., none of that stuff matters. It's just all noise. So those are the 5 matter things, which I like to think of as the external things that you just ultimately cannot control. And you just have to accept that, because, you know, you have to realize that you have power of your mind, as Marcus Aurelius would say. And, you know, if you realize this, like, you will find so much strength in your journey, in your entrepreneur journey. So yeah, I need to get some water again. That was matter, or just external things. Now we're going to talk about the mind, which is basically just all internal things, of course. So the very first point is just not having gratitude or awareness to just realize that your journey is part of the process. You know, I've had to catch myself a lot of times on this journey of mine, this entrepreneurial journey, that, you know, like, why are you being so impatient? Why are you trying to rush? And I think it's largely due to just things we see online, well, things I've seen online of just entrepreneurship. I think it's due to just the things I want to achieve in the future, just in life. Like, I want to achieve some very big things. And like, you know, there is this feeling that there's just not enough time. But just like realize, like, we're young. Like, we have all the time in the world. Like, provided you use it correctly. If you don't waste your time, just instant gratification all day. But if you use your time largely due to delayed gratification, then honestly, man, it's like, you know, you don't need to worry. Like, just relax. Like, let's take it easy real quick. Let's take it easy. About gratitude, like, yeah, you gotta be oh man, I got so down. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so like, you gotta be grateful for where you are in the journey right now. You know, like, I know it's difficult to find gratitude in where you are, and you know, I know there's a lot of noise and stuff, as I said earlier, but ultimately you just have to realize that you're so grateful right now that you're not in a war-torn country, or that you're not in poverty, or you're not starving, or like, you know, you're not being like beaten or something like that. Like, you gotta be grateful that, you know, like, you're ideally in like this first world country, and like, you have opportunities. You know, like, there's people in the world that are so much worse than like where you are right now. And you gotta realize that, you gotta remember that. Like, Like, you are blessed. Like, you are blessed. As Ice Cold JT would say, like, you are blessed. And it's like, you just gotta remember that. You really gotta put things in perspective. And like, when things are getting like difficult in your journey, like, you just gotta realize like you will get through this. Like, you're not in a situation where you're limited on resources, or maybe you can't do something because of the politics in your country or whatever. Like, you gotta realize like just how fortunate you truly are to be able to do what you're currently doing and what you're trying to build. So yeah, have gratitude. And you need to be aware too. You have to be incredibly aware of what you want, why you want it, and how it's going to serve you in the future. Because again, just going back to what I said earlier at the very beginning of the video, where it's like, you know, like, society loves to sell this image of entrepreneurship, which is really like, they like to sell the glitz and glamour of it. But the truth, man, it's like, it's probably not gonna be glitz and glamour for a long time. Like, you know, entrepreneurs, like, we do say the typical like cliche things, like, you will have very late nights, you will maybe not be talking that much to people, like, you'll be stressed out, you'll be lost. And these are all true things. Like, I've felt these things. I'm still going through them. I'm still trying to manage them and trying to really just learn how to just manage them better. So yeah, these things are true. But you just ultimately have to be aware of your current situation, and you have to be aware of what you're thinking, what your thought process is, what your belief system is, especially belief system. Like, your belief system, if that's not on point, if your mindset is not on point, like, none of this matters. None of this matters. Guys, I really apologize. There's been so many interruptions. I apologize a lot. But anyway, though, I was going on about belief system. This is honestly like the core, like, fundamental essence of just entrepreneurship. Whatever you believe, that is what you will become. And you need to, like, if you have a trash belief system or anything, like, you honestly need to delete it. Like, just press delete. Like, come on. Like, you have to get rid of it. Because, like, ultimately, man, like, if you believe you'll only make $10,000 a month, you'll only make $10,000 a month. But quite honestly, man, like, I think $10,000 a month, that could be like pocket change. Like, I honestly think this can be pocket change in the future, like $10,000 a month. I haven't gotten there yet, but I know I'm gonna get there. And just honestly, man, like, $10,000 a month, honestly, that might be the standard of the future. So it's like, you have to get rid of any limiting belief systems that you have of yourself and of your business, especially of just the way you are as an entrepreneur and just a budding business owner. If there's anything that's just holding you back, be it like from related to your belief system, be it maybe someone says something to you, maybe you went through something, maybe you told yourself something, whatever the case may be, you have to purge it right now. Like, this moment forward, you have to decide, I'm not going to believe this anymore. I am going to change the way I see something. And as a result of changing the way I see something, it will change the way I think. And as a result of changing the way I think, it's going to change the way I act. And as a result of changing the way you act, it will change the results you bring to the table. That might sound very esoteric to you, you know. It might sound very esoteric, but, you know, you have to develop the mindset. That is the essence of entrepreneurship. It is the essence of success. It's ultimately the essence of just living a very beautiful life. The second thing, which is just, it's just poison. It's just poison. It's such a poison in our generation. But you must transition from the instant gratification mindset of you're going to get everything now to the delayed gratification mindset that you need to put your head down, you need to just go. And do not confuse this with hustle culture. Hustle culture, honestly, man, like, you know, I think I've had my share of hustle culture, whatever you want to call it, which is just another word that's like, I just find kind of stupid, especially when the people promoting hustle culture are probably not the ones like doing the work. So it's like shut up, man. But I have to transition from a delayed gratification mindset, from an instant gratification to a delayed mindset. Because, like, I know, like, you and I, of course, we're young. We've grown up with a lot of stimulation. We've grown up with Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok now, that poison. All these things can be poison depending on the way you use them. But And though we've grown up with all of these distractions basically, and all these things that software developers and very sophisticated marketers have heavily optimized to really get us to pay attention. Attention is the currency of the 21st century. Let me repeat that. Attention is the currency of the 21st century. Okay? You understand that, right? Our attention is being made profitable. This is unprecedented. Like, this is truly unprecedented. We've never had a time where people are being paid for our attention. Digitally anyway, but the point still stands. So many things are grabbing our attention every single day, and it especially comes from the digital world. It's all forms of instant gratification. We feel so good when we decide to binge like YouTube or binge Netflix or surf the web or whatever. Like, it feels so good when we do all these instant gratification things. But honestly, man, and another thing too is because you're programming your mind for instant gratification, it starts to rob you of your normal state of being, like your normal state of like what a human's like neuroscience is supposed to be like. It's literally robbing you, because now like you just want to be achieving things like right now, like any difficult thing, you just want to do it right now. And you know, honestly, like wanting things now, it's like, it's not a bad thing, of course. Like, we all deep down want whatever goal like we're aspiring to achieve. Like, we all want it now. But the bad thing is when you don't realize like how much time, effort, and just dedication it's really just gonna have to take to put in, because you know we've been so programmed into just instant gratification. So as a budding entrepreneur, you have to realize that it may be a couple months until you make your first sale. You know, that's just the truth. And I got lucky. I'd say I got like extremely lucky being on Upwork for a short time. And I'm not even on that platform anymore because, you know, I'm literally 17, like, and I can't be on that platform. So I basically just bounced off real quick. You know, I got my little $100, again, my first ever client in like February 21st or so. So yeah. Oh wow. It's really the 21st of April. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. So yeah, exactly 2 months ago, I got my first client, I think. Or it's 25th, I can't remember, but one of the two dates. But anyway, it was in February though. I got my first ever sale online. I was paid $100 to write an article, an SEO article. Or sorry, an article that's optimized for search engines. And yeah, I was paid $100. It was awesome. And you know, it really cemented the idea and just affirmed the belief that what I'm doing is possible. The fact that someone literally gave me their money in exchange for value, a transaction, it's like, that's honestly awesome. It's like, it's a really good feeling to know that what you're doing, it is valued. If you have an economically valuable skill or viable skill, if you have a skill like that, people will pay up. You just have to realize that it's going to take a very long time, most likely, unless, you know, like you're an exception or like outlier or like stuff like that. And if you are, that's awesome. But if you're not, it's okay. You know, we're all entrepreneurs at the end of the day. We're just trying to provide some value and just, you know, live a great life. But you just have to realize that, you know, again, that first big ticket sale or building that audience that you need for your business in order to build trust, these things are going to take time. It's going to take months on months. It's probably going to take a couple of years, depending on the avenue you want to go down, like long term, I'm talking like 10, 20 years plus. In entrepreneurship, things are going to take a lot of time, and you have to have a lot of patience, and you have to have a lot of understanding in the process. You have to realize that each and every single day, if you make a decision to yourself that today I'm going to be a little bit better than I was yesterday in terms of my business, my mind, body, soul, like the big three. If you make a decision to yourself that you will be better, chances are you will become better. You will become better in all these aspects, and thus it will translate into your business. It will simply be a reflection of the internal work you're putting into yourself. So yeah, realize that you must have a delayed gratification mindset. You must realize that whatever type of content you're posting out, whatever outreach you're doing, whatever product you're building, whatever service you're trying to really cultivate and just hone into, it's going to be a long time until you're going to see the fruits of your labor. You just have to accept that fact because nothing good comes easy. Nothing good comes easy. So a third thing for mine is just having doubts in your ability to sell, just as your ability to be a very effective salesman. I've definitely experienced this. I've been experiencing it on and off and stuff. Just like doing outreach and just pitching, like, would you like to connect on LinkedIn? I've definitely experienced this, because really think about it, like everything is a sale. Like this doesn't just apply to business, entrepreneurship, it applies to life too. Like everything is a sale. Like asking out that girl you like, that's a sale in itself. You're trying to make a transaction based on your feelings for each other. Maybe you might know someone that's going to a job interview. That's a sale in itself. Maybe you're trying to get your friend to help you out with some homework, or maybe help you out like study for the test or something like that. That's a sale in itself. All these aspects in life, they're all just sales. At least I think it's one of the fundamental truths of just human interaction. Everything is a sale. Everything is a transaction. I don't know, maybe this is a little too business oriented, but Jordan Belfort said it in his book, Way of the Wolf. Excellent book, by the way. He said that, everything's a sale in life. And that's just true. And you're starting out, it's going to seem like you can't sell or something like that. It's going to seem like no one cares about your product or service. No one, or more importantly, no one cares about your offering. That no one cares about what you're doing. That no one cares just about your business in general. It's going to feel like that. Like I know it is. Because, I've gone through it. And I'm slowly transitioning out of that mindset, because it's very like limiting, just kind of, I think, damaging mindset if you hold on for too long. You can obviously use as motivation, like if no one's selling to me, I'm going to change this. I'm going to make this problem into a possibility for opportunity. You can ultimately change your situation. You can change at any moment as long as you make that decision. It's going to take time to refine your message, to refine your offering. It's going to take time to actually learn like sales and marketing, like really trying to study and then applying right away. It's going to take time to build up the mental mindset of the very long-term mindset you'll need to have for sales and marketing. And that's about like building relationships. It's about serving the customer or serving the client. It's about trying to provide a lot of value. You're gonna have to adopt these fundamental like shifts in perspective if you ultimately want to be like a very successful entrepreneur, which I know you are capable of becoming. So the fourth thing is just not having the mentality to push yourself, especially when you really need to. To be completely honest, like sometimes you just gotta grit your teeth and just say, I don't care, I'm just gonna get this done. You gotta tap in that testosterone. You gotta tap into that drive, that just male aggression, that masculinity. You gotta tap in that. You gotta be like, I don't care, I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna kill it. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how I feel. We're gonna get this done. Like we have to do it. This is what it'll take in order to move forward. You just have to tap into that male aggression and that male drive and just determination that we just have as men. And you just gotta be like, I don't care. Like I'm going all in. Like let's get it. The fifth and final thing is being selfish versus being selfless. It's a huge tug in entrepreneurship. When we're all starting out, like when we're all starting out in entrepreneurship, there's clearly a huge tug. Deep down, I know we all want to just provide value to the world. I want to provide so much value to the world that when I die, I'm like dang dude, like this world is so much greater than when I was born, when I entered it. It'd be so cool to just have some like little kids just be like, man, like isn't this world so wonderful? Like how do we have that? Like how is it that we have this technology? Like I want to be able to do that. That's being selfless. And I know that you're selfless too because you're an entrepreneur. But as entrepreneurs, we can also become quite selfish. As in, all we're thinking about is how much money can I make right now? Where's the money at? Don't get it twisted though. Don't get it twisted. Like being selfish is actually a good thing. Being selfish is a good thing because it enables you to grit your teeth and move forward and do the things necessary to get to where you want to go. So being selfish is incredibly important. Like just when achieving your goals and stuff, like you have to be selfish. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, if you just have this selfish mentality that all that matters is the money, you just gotta keep going for the money, it's like, things are not gonna work out for you. Like things are really not gonna work out for you. Obviously set financial goals, but just realize that it's largely out of your control. And this is not to bring you down or anything, but if you really think about it, like there's just people that are not closable. There's just people that are not closable. And maybe if you just run into a series of people that you can't close, that are just unclosable, then you won't hit that financial target. So, obviously have your financial goals. Like I have my financial goals I'm developing. My client goals, all that stuff. I'm having that. But just realize that, entrepreneurship, it's just a constant tug of just selfish and selfless. Selfish and selfless. I want to make a lot of money today. I want to help a lot of people today. It's a constant tug, and you got to learn to tune into that tug and just having control over it. Because, ultimately, man, it's like a dance or something like that. I don't even know, but it's hard to describe. It's like you need to have both of them in order to really tap into the essence of entrepreneurship, which is to serve and to also receive. It's to give, it's receive. That's really what the game is all about. Just realize that, you're going to feel very selfish and very driven by monetary incentives, like you just will. And there's nothing wrong with this, by the way. Like, we live in a society where people don't want to talk about money. It's like, what? Like, I don't understand it. If anything, money is simply a byproduct of the time in which someone was like, I need to be able to give this person something because I feel so indebted to them. It's like, again, it's the media, society. It's like they've lied to you. They've lied to you so much, and just into brainwashing, into thinking that money is a bad thing. And for that reason, it's why people stay where they are financially. There's a polarity between being selfish and being selfless, but if you're able to use that polarity in the perfect time, or rather not the perfect time, but if you're able to use that polarity and just really have it be harmonious together, that's when truly, oh my gosh, that's when incredible things are gonna start happening. I was just lost for words there, but yeah, man. So that's the video. That is the dirty truths of entrepreneurship, and yeah, I'm on my journey right now. I'm 3 months into this agency kind of journey. This is not my first entrepreneurial venture. I started a little car business, auto detailing, then lawn mowing in the summer. So yeah, it's not my first entrepreneurial rodeo, but hey, I'm getting better. I'm growing every day. I'm learning, and I know you are too, and both of us are gonna make it. If you remember what I said in this video, if you come back to it, and if you just remember the points I said, then honestly, man, you're gonna be set. Mentally, you're gonna be set. You're gonna be attracting the things that you want. You're gonna be giving the things that the market needs, and just things are gonna be really great. So yeah, comments, subscribe, turn the post notification on so you don't miss any of this content. Please let me know what you thought about this video, and since you're an entrepreneur, please let me know the questions and problems you have in this video and just in general on your journey, and I'll try my best to respond the highest level possible. So yeah, guys, that's it. Enjoy yourself and just keep building and just let's get it. Come on.